Hello, hello. This is Rose, our Secret Creations. How are you doing? I'm bringing to you a side dish. We're gonna be making excuse me, not we, me, gonna be making some creamy fish. What's it called? Lemon creamy fish. My oven's ready. I got it set at 200. But what I'm making is a side dish of my pre-made dry can au gratin potatoes. So what I did is I made my own mix. I will put a link to the video that I did showing you how to make all this. But the reason I'm showing you this video is because I want to show you what the potatoes look like after months and months and months that it's dehydrated. Okay, so here's the original mix. Okay, the original mix calls for, and all this will be in the description box. 2 cups instant powder milk, 1 cup white flour, 1 cup cornstarch, 1/2 cup onion flakes, 1/2 cup chives, 1 teaspoon salt, 4 teaspoons mustard powder, 2 teaspoons of ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and Italian seasoning, and 1/4 powdered cheese, optional. 3 cups of dehydrated potatoes. I went ahead and pre-measured the potatoes before I put them in my 1-quart jar, and this is my video that I have. And in the description box, I always put the recipe and the directions on how to make it. So you can always go back to it if you need to follow your recipe, okay? Whoops. Oh, darn. See, that's me and my recipe right there, okay? So let's get rolling because we want to get this. Okay, let me get back to my direct description box. Okay, so I've got everything pre-made. I've already got pre-measured on everything else. So I've layered my potatoes. But what I wanted to show you is after you put them in a bowl, your dehydrated potatoes. Then you put boiling water on top of it, just enough to cover so it all soaks up. But keep in mind, in about 5 minutes, you want to double check it because the food itself, the dehydrated food, is going to expand because it's going to go back to its normal size. But then it's going to become really flimsy. See that? It's like a regular fresh raw potato. Now, don't pay attention to my potatoes because some of these potatoes I forgot to blanch before I dehydrated them. And if you don't blanch them before you dehydrate, they turn black, they oxidize. It doesn't do anything to the flavor. It doesn't do anything to the nutrients. It just looks bad because it's kind of a darky, blacky color. But it's totally fine. It's not toxic or anything. But see how flimsy the potatoes? Look at this one's a little bit thicker. And here's another one a little bit thicker. So I just wanted to show you dehydrating. This is one way to stretch your food budget is by dehydrating. And you can get an inexpensive dehydrator, either a 4 or 6 tray dehydrator, and like at your local thrift store. So you add a layer of your potatoes. Next, we're going to, just like the recipe says, in a separate bowl, we're going to add the dry mix with 1 cup of milk or water. But if you want a creamy sauce, you use milk instead of water. But you have your options. It's up to you. So here's my 1 cup of milk, and this is my pressure can milk that I've had in my grocery store in my canning room. Okay, and we're going to stir in. Okay, in a separate bowl, add the dry mix with the 1 cup of milk. Okay, so we're going to add the dry mix. It's in the bowl. We're going to add the milk. When you can milk, it becomes more like evaporated milk, but it's still regular milk. Okay, so yeah, I'm in frame. I want to make sure. So let me just stir this in. You want to make sure that all the powder, all the little everything is incorporated with the milk. Now there's going to be pieces of little dehydrated potatoes in here, but I'm not going to sweat it. They're little bitty bite-sized pieces. We're good to go. I'm good to go with those. Okay. Add 2 cups of hot water. And I was boiling my water. It's exactly 2 cups. Okay. Whew, I'm already a tired puppy. Been busy, busy, busy. Okay, let's stir that up. So add 2 cups of hot water to mix it all up. Okay. I wish we had smell-o-vision. It smells so good. We're going to add a little bit of this, but I'm going to put this back in here because I'm going to want to be able to pour it and not make a big mess. And I want to get all my little goodies, all my seasonings. I want all that in here. So this is the one time you definitely want to scrape your bowl. Because you want to get a bunch of this herbs and flavor. Because you want all those herbs and spices to incorporate in the dish when it's baking. Give that one more stir. I'm going to pour this over. All my casserole dishes are in the freezer with freezer meals for the next few weeks. Okay, so I had to end up using one of my one of my baking pans. Oh, I don't want to get any milk on the bottom of my pan. Let me wipe that down. Okay, now we're going to go back and we're going to layer some more. Clean hands, clean tools, clean table, you're good to go. These potatoes are so soft. There's a few that have got a little bit thicker, that are a little bit not as flimsy soft. But in the baking times, because it's going to bake for 20 minutes at a 200-degree oven, it'll soften up. Because we're going to add all of this liquid into this dish. I'm hoping it'll hold it all, but I'm going to pour as much as I can. Now, if you wanted it cheesy, you can add some cheese powder to your mix. Or sprinkle some shredded cheese on top before you go to bake, when you go to bake it. But we're just going to have regular old au gratin potatoes. We're not going to do the cheese. But you want to even layer, and even it as much as you can. See, like that one's a lot thicker. See how this one's really flimsy, but this is a lot thicker. But it's still soft. You can pinch it. You can pinch it, and it squeezes. Okay, so that's done. Wipe my mess down here. Because I still got to make my main course, the fish. But fish is only going to take 10 minutes and it's done. Okay, so that's an even layer. That's good enough. And for me and hubby, that's more than enough for our dinner and a little bit left over for lunch. Not a whole lot left over for lunch, but we've got fish to go with it too. So now let's pour as much as we can over. Stir this again. And I'm going to pour till just about halfway through the dish, because I want to make sure it all soaks in. And I won't be able to do all of it because I don't want it to overflow. It's going to bubble as it's heating up. I'm just making sure that the potatoes are inside the liquid. And it's pretty level. So I think I'm good to go. So I didn't do too bad. I used most of it. Again, it's because I didn't have a casserole dish that's got a lot higher up lip. Okay, now let's see what we do next. Cover the dish with foil. Bake in the oven at 350, not 200, for 20 minutes. Remove the foil and continue to bake for another 20 minutes. So let me turn my oven on to 350. Put the foil. Put it in the oven. Set my timer for 20 minutes, take it out of the oven, take the foil off, leave it, put it back in the oven, and let it bake for another 20 minutes. So we'll bring it back when we come ready to do the taste test. Okay, we are back. There is, my tripod's still broken. So there's what that looks like. Isn't that pretty? Now let's do the taste test. Whoops. I just lost my little thing. Okay, it's in there. So now let's do a taste test. Oh yeah, look, it's very, I want to show you, I want to bring the plate up because this pan is way too hot. Look at how creamy all that is. Look at that. Yum, yum. Now let's do the best part of all, the taste test. Let's see what it tastes like. I don't want to get too close to that. That's hot. And then the top layer is crunchy. Oh, but look at it. It just falls apart. And these are made with dehydrated potatoes, and I dehydrated it myself. Creamy, creamy, creamy. Personally, I would add some salt to it, but then I always add salt when it comes to anything with potatoes. I just like the potato flavor, but I love salt on potatoes. That's the only time I really put a lot of salt. Not a lot, but more than usual. Tender, tender, tender. All these potatoes are so tender. So anyway, this is my take on the au gratin potatoes. Got out of a jar that sat on your shelf for several months to a couple of years, and you're ready to go in 20 minutes. Well, 40 minutes, because it takes 20 minutes to soak the potatoes, and then it takes 20 minutes to cook it with foil on top, and then another 20 minutes to cook it without the foil, so it bakes. But it's got all that creaminess. This is a win-win for sure. 2 thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye.